So by the time everybody sees this, it'll be my 10-year wedding anniversary. So I'm going to tell the story of how me and my husband got together. More so how my mother told me years before that this was the man I was going to marry. Side note, my mother-in-law also was plotting on us probably about a year before we got together officially. So both our mothers pretty much got us together. So let's do the background story of me and my husband. When we met in March of 2005, we were both athletes in college, and we met in the athletic computer lounge. And I was in there with one of my old teammates, and both of them are like, my old teammate, she was like 3 years older than me, and my husband is a year older than me. So they've seen each other and known each other on campus and anything. This was my first time meeting him. I think it was just the three of us in there, and we in there cracking up, cutting up. And I'm like, oh, okay, this dude is cool. Now, mind you, nothing was happening or going down, because he said like right off the bat that he had a girlfriend. I had a boyfriend at the time, so we weren't looking at each other like that. He's just a cool, friendly person. So that's how we met. So fast forward to the summer of 2005. I'm still on campus because I am still in competition, and my husband played football at the time, so obviously he's still on campus, and we started hanging out pretty tough. Mind you, again, I'm broken up with my boyfriend at the time. He's broken up with his girlfriend at the time. We still are not together. We're just friends all throughout college. I just want to point that out. So for him, things took a turn probably about in the fall of 2005, and I had went to this very strange church with my roommates at the time, and I was telling him about it. Now, I don't know why this particular Sunday we were hanging out, but he was driving me back to my apartment. So as he's driving, I'm telling him about this weird church that I had just went to that day. And so he started asking me questions about church and whatnot. And so I'm telling him and stuff like that. And whatever I said to him completely shocked him, because he stopped the car in the middle of the road and was like, wait, me too, I grew up the same way too. Years later, he tells me that conversation we had about church, he started seeing me a little bit differently, but we still never got together. We still just remained friends. So we're still in the fall of 2005, and I'm home, and I don't know why I'm home, but I'm in my parents' room and I'm talking to my folks, and I'm telling my mom about like some of the friends that I've met at college or whatever, and my husband is one of the particular friends that I met. So I'm telling her about this guy. He plays football, he says this and that about church, and my mom's just listening to me, but she's just like, yeah. And so like she just listens to the whole conversation, and then she just stops and she goes, Tara, you gonna marry that boy. That's your husband. You gonna marry him. And this is my face. I was like, no, I'm not. I am not marrying him. He's boring. And if you know my husband at that time, he's like 20 years old, but he's talking about like trading stuff. He's talking about finance. He's talking about the future and stuff like that. And at the time, I'm 19. This is boring to me. Like, what is this guy talking about? But we're still friends, and I'm hanging out with him, and okay, whatever you're talking about with trading stuff. But my mom, she was like, nope, this is your husband. And that was the last conversation we had for like a number of years. So let's fast forward to the summer of 2010, and he and I are broken up with whoever we were with at the time, and he decided, he was like, hey, let's hang out, let's help each other get over the breakup. So we just hung out pretty tough, and that's when I started falling for him. I just saw him in a different light. He was a really sweet and genuine, kind person, and I was like, I like this guy. I don't know what to do, but I can't tell him that I like him. So we just continue to hang out from the summer of 2010 until December of 2010, and he deploys. So when he was about to deploy that December of 2010, I decided, hey, let's go on a date. So I took us to this hibachi spot. Years later, we got engaged at the same hibachi spot. That man be knowing. But we go on this date at the hibachi spot, and like things took a turn that night, because like conversations that I had had with him in the past, that he just does not kiss anybody. Kissing was very intimate or whatever. You do that for your girlfriend and stuff like that or whatever. But that night he kissed me, and I was like, oh, okay. But we didn't have a conversation about it. We were still friends. We went on that date. He deployed. Let's move on to January. So in January, probably sooner than this. I can't remember the exact date. His mother finds me on Facebook. Now, I had only met his mother once at this time, and that was back in the fall of 2005 when him and I became friends. And like I said, he's a football player, and so his parents came into town to hang with him. It was like a A-Day type of game. It was like their spring game or whatever, and like all the fans and the parents had came to watch them like play. And so I guess because his parents were on campus, he decided to like introduce his parents to like some of his friends, and I was one of the friends. Now, his parents do remember meeting me at that time. His dad even took a picture of us. And I have that picture to this day. He does, because he posted it on his Facebook like that day. But they remember meeting me, and that was the only time I had met his mother. And now we're in 2010, 2011. His mother finds me on Facebook, and we become friends. And now I'm talking to his mother fairly regularly because she likes my statuses. My statuses are super religious. I'm talking about grad school. I'm talking about praying. I'm talking about scriptures and God and everything like that. And in the background, I didn't know, she's like kind of falling in love with me too. So he's deployed, and him and I are talking regularly, and I'm sending him care packages, and all our conversations are friendly. Keep that in mind. Our conversations are not going to a romantic level at all. They're completely friendly. But me, I wanted to take this friendship to the next level. Remember, I started liking him in the summer of 2010 through December because we're hanging out pretty tough. I see what type of person that he is or whatever, and I'm like, I like this guy. So while he's deployed, I tell him that I like him. And he politely turns me down. He's like, he's deployed, he wasn't ready for no relationship, because, you know, it's just he wants to focus on deployment and building a relationship and all that stuff, blah, blah, blah. So, you know, I'm just like, all right, cool. I still continue to send him care packages. We still continue to talk, like, on a regular basis. Nothing changed. So then it's June, and I'm graduating from grad school, and I'm going on job interviews, and I'm telling him about it. Mind you, I'm also going on dates, and I'm telling him about it. Still friendly conversations. And so I am in Atlanta with my dad in a church group, and my husband gives me a call. So he's still deployed. And so like when they're deployed and they're able to call at this time, it's just like, oh, okay, let me rush to get this phone. So I'm rushing and I'm running past the roller coaster. I think I was running by the Georgia Scorcher, and he calls me, and I'm super excited because I don't think I had heard from him that often on this deployment. And I'm kind of rushing him off the phone because I can't talk because it's so loud, because I'm running by the roller coaster. And he was like, oh, okay, that's cool. Call me back. I have to tell you something like super important. And I'm confused because he never like talks like that with me. It's just regular conversations that we normally have. He never says that. So I'm just like, okay, I'll call you back. I never call him back, which is terrible. Yes. But like, I think he realizes as a couple of hours were going by that I'm kind of busy, so he sends me a message. What's funny about this message is I am at my parents' house when I get this message, and I'm talking to my mother when I get this message, and I'm just sitting here like, hey, what? And she sees my face, and she was like, Tara, what's wrong? What's going on? I was like, this man likes me. What? So I read the message to her, and it's basically saying that he wished we would have started a relationship sooner, and that he apologizes for turning me down when I told him that I did like him. And I had told him about, like, I was looking for jobs in like the DC area, and he was like, I'm kind of glad you didn't get the job in like the DC area because I would have stalked you up there. Okay. And that he was going to try to bring me back down to where we were. I was like, wait, this man likes me. This is insane. So mind you, I read the message to my mother, and she's just sitting there like, I told you that's your husband. This is 2011. She told me this in 2005. That heifer remembered that, which is absolutely insane. So this is June of 2011. And from that day on, we started dating. We started talking and all that stuff. And then, you know, we eventually get married in 2015. Now, where my mother-in-law plays into this is, I don't know what year or time frame that this happened, but while I'm talking to her on a regular basis on Facebook and she's falling in love with me, she's telling my husband, I like that Tara girl. You know, she's a good Christian girl. She's this, she's that. And I don't think at the time my husband was looking at me differently until like his mother said something to him and other conversations that we had. He was like, okay, mama might have something here. And now, you know, I can't ask my mother-in-law. She passed like some months ago, but I did talk with her about it, and she was like, yeah, I was telling him like how much I liked you, and you were this and you were that. The mamas be plotting, I'm telling you. But what was funny, the night that we got engaged, you know, I'm crying, I'm hugging my mother, and I forgot about the conversation. Because let's see, when he sent the message, it was June of 2011. We got engaged of March of 2014. I forgot about what she said to me in college, and when I read that message to her, I forgot what she said, that he was going to be my husband, until the night we got engaged. And I'm hugging her and I'm crying. She was like, I told you that was going to be your husband. And here we are 10 years later, happily married, very happily married. You know, them mamas, they saw something that I didn't know, he didn't know. We were just friends. But it was so strange that my mother never met this guy, and she said that was going to be my husband. And I met his parents, like his mother, twice. And I talked to his mother regularly, but I didn't talk to his dad regularly like that, because his dad's not a social media person. But it was crazy. Them mamas be knowing. But yes, that is the story how my mother and my mother-in-law got me and my husband together. There was little bugs in our ears. But you know, we love them.